It's complicated. I thought borrowing a line which is often used to describe modern day relationships made sense to describe the Maharashtra election outcome. Because this Maharashtra election is not just about narratives and counter-narratives, ideology versus ideology, political party versus political party, or an alliance versus another alliance. In this case, Mahavikas Aghadi versus Mahayuti. But about relationships, the political kinds. As you know, in this election, last election's political enemies are friends now, and those who fought together are opponents. And the other reason things are complicated is because depending on the reporter you speak to and the region he or she might have covered, region-wise, very different stories are emerging. But the overarching theme in terms of the predicted outcome is that BJP-led Mahayuti is likely to continue to stay in power, and the Congress, which went into these elections, Uddhav Thackeray-led faction of Shiv Sena and Sharad Pawar-led faction of the NCP, will be facing a serious blow. Now let's take a look at some of the key battles. And of course, one of the biggest battlegrounds within Maharashtra is the Kopri Pachpakari seat, where of course Eknath Shinde, who is leading a faction which broke away from the original Shiv Sena and which is now fighting the election in alliance with Congress. And from that seat, Eknath Shinde is up against Kedar Dighe of Shiv Sena, which is of course led by Uddhav Thackeray. This is a key battleground, and this is a battle which we will need to keep an eye on, in terms of leads as per various exit polls. Eknath Shinde is expected to win this seat. Now, keep in mind that the Shinde faction of Shiv Sena is not very strong in Mumbai on itself, but BJP and BJP's popularity in Mumbai is helping it. It's giving it a leg up, and it might just be enough to make sure that Eknath Shinde ends up winning this seat. Now, the next key battleground is, of course, the seat from where Devendra Fadnavis is up against Prabul of Congress, and this seat is Nagpur Southwest. Now, moving to the next one, in terms of the key battlegrounds, the next seat that we're looking at is Bandre East, where Zishan Siddiqui, whose father, Baba Siddiqui, was recently murdered, is up against Varun Sardesai of Shiv Sena led by the Uddhav Thackeray faction. And of course, Zishan Siddiqui is fighting from NCP or the Ajit Pawar faction. Now, the next key seat is Worli, where Aaditya Thackeray is up against Milind Deora and Sandeep Deshpande of MNS. It's a triangular contest. It'll be interesting to watch who's going to emerge as the winner from this seat. Moving to the next key battleground, it is Baramati, where Ajit Pawar himself is up against Yogendra Pawar. And Yogendra Pawar is, of course, fighting from the NCP faction, which is led by Sharad Pawar, his uncle. Now, that is in terms of, some of the key battles, big battles from the state. Now, we will briefly take a look at what happened in the Lok Sabha elections in 2024. Now, let's take a detailed look at what various exit polls are saying. And as you can see behind me, this exit poll is by Chanakya Strategies. Now, out of the total 288 seats, Mahayuti is expected to win anywhere between 152 to 160, Mahavikas Aghadi anywhere between 130 to 138, and others anywhere between 6 to 8. Now, this is of course the exit poll by Chanakya Strategies. Now, moving on to the next one, Matrice is the next agency which has done this exit poll, and as per Matrice, the number of seats which are being allocated to both Mahayuti and MVA is not very different. Range, of course, is. So, in this case, Mahayuti is expected to win anywhere between 150 to 170 seats. Mahavikas Aghadi anywhere between 110 to 130 seats. And others, the range in this case has improved a little, and others are now likely to get anywhere between 8 to 10 seats. Moving to the next exit poll, which is by PMark, the range is roughly speaking the same. Mahayuti is expected to win anywhere between 137 to 157 seats, Mahavikas Aghadi anywhere between 126 to 146 seats, and others anywhere between 2 to 8 seats. Now, the last exit poll that we have for you is by Poll Diary. And out of the total 288 seats, Mahayuti is expected to win. This is, of course, the biggest in terms of if you look at the upper limit of all the exit polls. Here, Mahayuti stands to gain the maximum number of seats, which is 186. And this exit poll is by Poll Diary. Now, as per this exit poll, Mahayuti is expected to win anywhere between 122 to 186. Mahavikas Aghadi, the numbers have dramatically come down for Mahavikas Aghadi in case of Poll Diary's exit poll. And the numbers as per this exit poll are 69 to 121. And others, the biggest chunk so far in terms of, if you compare Poll Diary's exit poll with other exit polls, then others in this case are expected to win anywhere between 12 to 29 seats. Now let's take a look at the poll of polls. And as I was saying earlier, the largest number of seats, the biggest number of seats which has been given to Mahayuti. It is clear if you take one quick look at all of these exit polls that Mahayuti is all set to form the government in Maharashtra. Now, the highest number of seats to the alliance led by BJP has been given by Poll Diary, which is predicting BJP-led alliance is likely to win anywhere between 122 to 186 seats. And the minimum, if you look at in terms of numbers, as per various exit polls, the minimum number has also been given by, in terms of the lower end of the range, by Poll Diary, and that is 122. Otherwise, most are predicting anywhere between 130 to 150. As far as MVA is concerned, or Mahavikas Aghadi led by Congress is concerned, then the highest number of seats in terms of the upper range has been given by PMark, and that stands at 146. And the lowest, of course, is by Poll Diary, which stands at 69. Others, there is a wide range. It starts right from 2, and as per Poll Diary, the highest number of seats that others can win in this case is 29. Now, let's take a look at some of the key battles in Maharashtra, and we will, of course, also talk about which particular party is strong in which region. We will talk about Maharashtra's political map in terms of different regions and how each alliance is expected to do in those regions. Now, for those of you who are interested in comparing what the exit polls are predicting versus what actually happened in 2019, which is, of course, the last time when assembly elections were held in Maharashtra, then here are the numbers from 2019 for you. In that particular election where BJP was in alliance with Shiv Sena, like I said, this time around, elections are complicated. But having said that, in those elections, BJP fought in alliance with Shiv Sena. BJP 105 seats, Shiv Sena 56, INC, which is of course the Congress, 154, and NCP, which at that point in time was undivided. Sharad Pawar, Ajit Pawar were together in the same party, and NCP had 154 seats. Quickly take a look at what happened in the recently held Lok Sabha elections in Maharashtra, because that will give us a bit of a clue. Not necessarily that the Lok Sabha election results are going to have an impact on assembly elections. Often we have seen in case of different states that the results have turned out to be very different from Lok Sabha elections. But just for those of you who are curious in terms of what happened, here is a little reminder. So out of the total 48 seats in Maharashtra, NDA had emerged as a winner on 17, India Alliance on 30, and others had backed 1 seat.